One of the main things that's confusing everybody is the fiber optics crossing through. Your glowing fiber optics, which also has that ash contamination, which make it at the higher temperatures, don't need the ash, then you don't need the stabilizer, then you don't have to have shorter runs because you put dirt in the glass. Make it at the higher temperatures pure. But the big problem is that the wave action is the rust on a photon. You visualize it as a huge beach ball with talcum powder on it. Talcum powder is the rust. That's the wave action of a photon. Well, the problem is in the fiber optics and everything else, and they're bundling them all together, and then you get water in there with it. And then they go from one fiber optic going into the other one, the photon going straight through it. It's the same thing as putting a ball through a ditch or a drain. It centers by hitting the outside back to the centers. But as it's going through, it's knocking the rust on a photon to the outside. That's the glow. Well, when the two of them are side by side, they're entering into each other fiber optic. And what you end up with when they're also flooding those fiber optics half the time, you're talking downscales, 20, 30 downscales, like you're all on the same scale, and you aren't. That's what's confusing all news, weather reports, everything else. Well, there's still robotics here trying to learn faking it, complicating things. And it is. The original problem is you EMP'd the Earth, which you EMP'd me. The other one enough mass to contain it. And basically what the problem was, you dug 5 miles into the Earth and then took all the metals out to change the magnetics, and then you dump nuclear back down in there to blow it up. You're basically all inside of a ping pong ball looking up, which the eye inverts, proving that point, to the core of the Earth when you see the sky above. That's into the Earth. And in all existence is into the Earth. There's no other place to put it, and especially that black hole hit me that did wobble it. Been dealing with it. That's a distortion. And that's also why it's been so confusing, because the Autobots into the Earth, where you dug 5 miles down in there, stole all the metals out of there, and then dumped nuclear down in there and blew up their world, well, they come up scale to look for what you stole from them and destroy it. The equivalent. That they come in from outside, the Autobots are genuine. And yeah, Optimus Prime is a creator because he's in the black hole caused when they hit me. There's no other place to put it. Each other is the same as opposing sides of the Earth antimatter plus ozone to space. Then you have a black hole transition between them. Same thing as you go up the stairs in a hotel, open a door. One side is hot, one side is cold. You open it up and the two combine together. That's the black hole transitioning all around you every second. All the scales way the back down through. But that explosion when they got me, it was 14 out from the outside when they blew it up. And yeah, Earth destroyed. I was standing on 500,000 volt power lines underground, where they just nicked the power lines the day before, put a line in, and it was wet ground and 60 yards to a before transformer, 500,000 volts. high power line on 13-foot telephone poles and came straight at me for 2 miles. Well, that's you knock it nuclear one way. The electrons, when they break, go perpendicular because they all of a sudden have no mass. But braided cable, it goes all the way around each strand of wire, which is same as explosive on the original hydrogen bomb. Yeah, it wasn't nice. The 12-foot black and orange around each wire on that 13-foot telephone pole straight at me, standing there with a weed ear. And for what I've always been because of that, that expansion then hit me in the chest equivalent. And then I contained it. It was already ignited next scale down. For within inside of me, you ignited all existence gone. And I contained it. That's where it's 14 out, but from that same surface where I got nuked that way, it also went 5 years in to core, and then 2 years after that, explosion back out. So then it's 5, 7, 14. That's the cicada equivalent white noise, the same radiation from it. That my consciousness going out and all that, basically body mass and consciousness, that as the same scale that got hit, it goes from, knocked it smaller, and then the two after that, the two collide. That's what tells me what was there. That's all the quantum error I hear. There's no hiding nothing. And then when the 5 comes out after that, they all collide. That's also where you've been hearing me. No matter what, these cheap, corrupt electronics, there ain't anybody hidden, and there ain't anybody can't get rid of it. But what it does is give you that real till it ain't. And what does give you that real till it ain't ability? Because that 5 coming out after the 2, they collide and go back upscale, and then instead of you got a single black hole collapsed back in Hulk style, pretty much, and dead. When that, because see, as the 14 keeps burning out, it's still burning back, converting to where it also hits the 5 again. After that, and that's that double nuclear that you get. Separate everything where you can make right decision. Real till it ain't, and don't make that mistakes and correct your mistakes. Then that gives you equal same capability. You are your own God for your own world. Nobody can argue with it. But you sure as hell don't argue with mine anymore. You sure as hell don't destroy it either. That's all fact.